March 22nd, 9:47 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Adrian did it? That's what it looks like. Dude, no way, that woman couldn't do anything like that. In court today, there'll be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you. A mountain of evidence? I'm certain there's someone out there trying very hard to put this whole thing on you. Please, Mr. Lawyer Dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, right? I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that. I understand. Well, it's almost time. That was not Edgeworth. That was not Edgeworth. Well, it's almost time. Mia. We must get a complete acquittal today. I know. I can't focus on Maya's situation right now. Or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day. Indeed. Well, let's get going. It's him. This is Wright. Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney, the day of the trial. Maya, she's unharmed, right? Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, how shall we say, tired. Don't worry, people don't die that easily. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. For my sake, as well as yours, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning. Present? What in the world would you want to give me? You'll figure it out once the trial starts, and even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it and win the day's contest, if you please. Wait! The kidnapper sent me a present? Mr. Lawyer Dude, who is that? No one. It has nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything. Dude, did your nose just get longer? District Court, corner number 3. Oh, hey everybody, Loading369 here. Welcome back to Let's Play Phoenix Wright Attorney Justice for All. Court is now in session for the trial of Matt on guard. Are the prosecution and defense ready? The defense is ready, Your Honor. I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss Von Karma? I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me? Your Honor! Please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session. If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Now then, what is it? Prosecutor Von Karma is... This morning, Miss Von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman! What? Shot? Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about. His present! Miss Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she were to disappear, it would be to your advantage. This is totally insane. Miss Von Karma, is she alright? I don't have that answer. She's alive and in stable condition. That's good. You're... I thought he'd show up. Your Honor, due to the circumstances, Miss Francisca Von Karma cannot appear in court today. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking her place. The prosecution is ready, naturally. Miss Von Karma was shot in her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. Luckily, I've looked this case over and am familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt Ungard. The court acknowledges the prosecution. Right. I finally found the answer I was struggling for in my long journey this past year. By the time this case comes to an end, you too will know the answer. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. Witness, your name and occupation? My name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at the precinct. For now. For now? After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir. Detective Gumshoe? The prosecution has no need for a depressed witness. Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Now, let's have your testimony. If we want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that. Get ready, Phoenix. This is going to be one very rough fight. Yeah. It would have to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. The answer he was struggling for. Interesting. Show me this answer you finally found, Edgeworth. bare facts of the case. This murder happened after the Hero's a Hero award at the ceremony, sir. The victim, Juan Carita, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. After the award ceremony ended, the victim was all alone in his room? Yes, sir. Both the victim and the defendant went alone to their rooms, sir. I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. It really was the bare facts of the case. There's really nothing there. Would you please give us a brief timeline of what happened after the ceremony? Okay, pal, the ceremony started at 6 p.m. It ended around 8 p.m. And then there was a short break. A special post-ceremony show was supposed to start in the lobby 30 minutes later. And that's when the victim's body was found, correct? Which is to say the murder occurred during that 30-minute break period. Please continue with your testimony, detective. Alright. The person who discovered the victim's body was Adrian Andrews, correct? Yeah. Who is this Adrian Andrews you're talking about? She's the defendant, Matt Ungard's manager. She's a really pretty lady, sir. Ah, so she's a pretty lady. I wonder if she will grace us with her presence. When the post-ceremony show was about to start, she went to get Mr. Ungard. After visiting his room, she next went to the victim's room to get him for the show, sir. I see. And that's when she found the victim's body. The cause of death. Wasn't that because Mr. Carita was stabbed in the chest? Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal. Take a good hard look at the crime photo. Now, a real pro's attention would be drawn here to this bandana. Banana. His bandana, sir. That's the thing wrapped tightly around his neck, sir. Ah, yes, I see. His banana-scented bandana. Then what about the knife? Seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death. We have a crafty murderer on our hands here. Updated autopsy report, huh? And why did you think that? Because it was empty, pal. The Jammin' Ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar. And we couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime. Oh, then how about this theory? The fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that? We thought of that too, but... The only fingerprints on the guitar case are the victims. Only the victims, huh? I see. Ah, so much for my theory then. However, we later found out the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. Oh, I didn't mean to read that twice. What convinced you it had nothing to do with the case? The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel that night. Well then, where was it? The bright red guitar was eventually found at the TV studio. The victim, Juan Carita, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir. So you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case? Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar. So that guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel. Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case after all. I believe that is enough. First, the witness was choked to death with his bandana. Then, after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why then did the police arrest Mr. Matt Ungard? Because there was a reason enough to suspect him. Here it comes. Looks like Edward's back in full swing. Very well. Detective Gumshoe, please testify about this matter. Yes, sir. Why arrest Ungard? Matt Ungard and Juan Carita were huge rivals with each other. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the Jammin' Ninja's button. It was ripped off the costume and found in Mr. Ungard's hakama. The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. Okay. The defendant brought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder. So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing. It was sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clearly, sir. And there's this button that was found in the defendant's clothes, was it? And this button is also covered in blood? Yes, and we know the victim, know that this is the blood, we know that the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir. What? All this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it? Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet, Wright? I'll find the hole in your argument somehow. You can press as hard as you like, just hurry up with your usual pointless questions. I actually think I already know what my line of attack is here. If I'm correct in what I think about the evidence. It's from the hotel, meaning that he couldn't have brought it, meaning that it was also spur of the moment. Not premeditated. Wait a second. What? So the basis of your argument that this was a premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand? That's right, pal. The defendant did not buy this knife. Huh? Take a good look at the handle of this knife and you'll see what I'm talking about. Huh? It has a Gatewater seal set into the handle. Gatewater? I think I've heard that name somewhere before. That's the name of the hotel, the Gatewater Hotel. Uh-oh. The murder knife was actually property of the hotel, which means this murder was not premeditated. Yes, that is very true. This is very big. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless. What? I think whether the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined. How so? I admit this knife is hotel property. There is no one currently on the police force that is dumb enough not to realize this. But I didn't... The question is... where did this knife come from? And where did it go? Where did it come from? Cotton Eye Joe. I'm sorry. That was right there for the taking. That's something I would do in like a live dub. Okay. Why, that's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Kurita's room. Sorry, Your Honor, but that is incorrect. The victim ate a last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, I would like to draw the court's attention to what is on top of the table. There's a knife and a fork on the table. Then, where in the world did this knife come from? If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Matt on guard. Especially what was on top of his table. There is something missing. Perhaps it is a single knife. We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Matt Unguard's knife was missing. Mr. Unguard had gone to the victim's room with the knife he had used during dinner. Why would he carry a knife on a visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was a premeditated murder. Amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliantly clear deduction. Seems like Edgeworth had this plan from the very beginning. This must be one of those traps. I just walked headlong into it. A murder weapon with fingerprints and a button from the victim's costume. There's quite a sizable amount of evidence here. I could safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of your Honor's time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense were to present evidence not yet shown to the court. Evidence not yet shown? He means evidence that the court hasn't seen yet. In other words, new evidence. What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright? Well, Phoenix. The judge is favoring the prosecution right now. When there was something wrong here, that gavel of his will be ringing out to the sound of our defeat. Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present to this court? There's one piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something this court has yet to see. Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I am giving you one chance, and only one. What the judge is saying, Wright, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here. If I mess up, it's curtains for all of us. We now present one and only one piece of evidence, and I'm gonna save. So I'm gonna think this over. Now then, what is this important evidence that you must show the court? Let's see. Let's do some deduction. It's not that. It's not that. I don't think it's that. Probably not that either. That wouldn't be good. I don't think it's that, because we don't even have it. Maybe? Maybe that. No. No. Maybe? No. This can't be important yet. No, no, and no. So I am between the wine glass and the magazine clipping. We haven't implicated Adrian Andrews into this yet at all. I'm thinking it might be the wine glass, but I'm not sure. This is a wine glass, is it not? Please look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. The scene is a mess because of the victim's struggle against his assailant. The vase was broken. His makeup is all over the floor. These were all things that happened at one point. These were all things that were at one point sitting on top of the dresser. Well, yes, I see your point. However, this glass that is sitting on the top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. The only thing that had not fallen over along with everything else is this wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration. Well, what do you all have to say? Well, yes, it is a little peculiar. Yes, it is, isn't it? I thought it was. You can stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours. Mr. Edgeworth, what is it, Your Honor? Your opinion? You don't need my opinion, because there's no special meaning to that glass. What? It's safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime took place, by the person who discovered the body, Adrian Andrews, for example. She could have easily been so shocked that she set the wine glass down without thinking. That does sound very plausible. Mr. Wright, could Miss Andrews really have set that glass down without thinking? I mean, if we say there is a way, it's over. If I appear weak here, the trial is over. I can look for my proof later. For now, I should trust my instinct and point with certainty. They just might fall for it if you're thought-provoking enough. The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory. We would like to see something that proves it was Miss Andrews who set the cup on the table. You've turned the situation on its head yet again, as usual. Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim? There's no way he has any. He's just bluffing. Unlike Mr. Wright, I never say anything unless I can actually prove it. What? You're not thinking hard enough today, Wright. Did you think that this wine glass escaped my notice? Of course it has been thoroughly inspected for fingerprints. Fingerprints. There are only one set of fingerprints left on this wine glass. Only one? Well, whose were they? They were not the victims nor the defendants. Rather, they were of one Adrian Andrews. What? That's why I said that the person who discovered the body left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Wright? I can't believe I fell into another trap. Miss Andrews was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Corrida. But upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set the glass down on the dresser. What you just said makes a lot of sense. Now do you see, Wright? You can't change any part of my scenarios. It explains everything all too well. I've thought long and hard this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor. And from here on out, I will show you the answer I have come to discover. Wait a second, Mr. Edgeworth. I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict. Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment yet. The prosecution has yet another witness we would like the court to hear from. Another witness? Yes. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness. What in the world is Mr. Edgeworth thinking? Not sure, Mia. I'm not sure. Oh, God. Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. Witness, your name and occupation. Gotcha. I wonder what happened to that calm composure he had earlier. Oh, edgy boy, it's been, what, a year since we last met, hasn't it? You should be more happy to see me. I saw the report with her testimony, but who knew that under that helmet, it was the Wicked Witch of the witness stand. I tell you, this time I know what I'm supposed to do. So today I'm gonna tell you anything and everything. Even things that don't have to do with that terrible crime. Miss Witness, that terrible crime is all this court needs to know. Ooh, shush, I'm talking, my dear Edgy Wedgy right now. Don't interrupt us, Gramps. Yes, madam. No, by all means, please, interrupt her, please. Anyway, witness your testimony, please. It's true what they say, now that youth are hot-headed nowadays. Not that I mind at all, Edgy. Now then, what should I start with? The witness was on security detail at the hotel on the night of the murder. Is this correct, Miss Oldbag? It was a great job being able to see my dear Juan. It was almost too much for my little heart to handle. You mean you were a fan of the victim? Look, everyone is crazy over that Ungard saying he's cute in a fresh way or something. But not me. I wouldn't say anything so silly. After all, I have no interest in a little child like him. I'm only interested in a real man, Juan Carita. But those two were the same age. Anyway, as I was saying, I was pacing in front of his room that night. Very well. Please tell the court what you witnessed the night of the murder. Leave it to me, Edgy Poo. God. What you witnessed. Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around in the hallway of this front room. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know. Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. That's when someone showed up. There was a man coming out of poor Juan's room. It was Ungard, Matt Ungard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room. Kind of forgot how to do a Jersey accent. Unfortunate. So Mr. Ungard came out of the victim's room. See, it has to be him. He's the murderer. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Alright. Miss Oldbag, what was your post on that night? The lobby. I was supposed to help set up the stage for that trifling show. But I refused to help, I'll have you know. It was for that lead-headed samurai show. I even took out a few of the nails. Maybe it was a good thing the show didn't go on. Besides, that manager with the glasses seemed to be working hard without me. So I thought I'd take a break and spread my wings a little. And that's when you went to hang around the victim's door? Something you were interested in? And just what was that? It's not some little thing I can just go around telling everyone, you know. It's top secret between me and Juan. And Edgy Poo, of course. Mr. Edgeworth, what is this thing she was interested in? I have no idea. I despise gossip, Your Honor. Gossip? But should it prove relevant, we could always have it appended to her testimony later. It looks like we shouldn't force it right now. And the witness... And did the witness stay in the vicinity of the victim's door the entire time? Oh, then would you tell us the number of people who went in and out of Mr. Carita's room? I have no idea. I wasn't born so I could count things for those who didn't pay attention in class. That's why ever since I turned 20, I can't quit keeping track of how old I really am. Yes, well that would explain why your age was not included in the report. Is her age actually not there? That's funny. In any case, the witness then saw someone, correct? Who in the world was that? I'm not allowed to say. This sort of information has to be carefully guarded from the masses, Sonny. That man came out of Juan's room. He was. Yes, he was. Oh, I'm too scared. I can't say his name out loud. Oh, what I wouldn't give to have Franziska's whip right about now. Well, I guess I can tell you since he was such a bad boy anyway. You saw my client. Are you sure about that? Yesy? Really? Annoying brat, when I say I saw someone, I saw that person. Why do we get a sense of deja vu? You know, avoid a repeat of last year. I should delve into this a bit further. Yep. Please tell the court about the man's face in more detail. You don't need me to tell you about his face. That soft, gentle look in his eyes and effeminate lips. His right eye covered by his silky hair, his sparkling, shining teeth. His teeth were shining? Well, he's shining all around in this week's pinup poster, dearie. This week's pinup? Why do you... I mean, I don't care how he looks in this week's issue. Please stay with what you saw that night. What? Unguard's face is the same no matter where it is, you know, you whippersnapper. So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or relevant in any way? I don't think so. But... Of course it was important, Your Honor. Then perhaps you would like to point out what part of the testimony was important. You don't really have to put it that way to get me to say. Mr. Wright, there is something much more valuable than a person's pride. That is time. Please don't waste this court's precious time with worthless questions. Yes, Your Honor. I think I just wasted his good favor. She may not remember things or be mistaken here and there, but I don't think she's lying. That's bad for us, really bad. That's how the human mind is. It also has the tendency to jump off topic. She's strayed onto a few interesting side topics this time too, hasn't she? That's what makes her a sweet old lady, right? That's because you're not the one who has to question her. Alright, let's ask a different question here. What about their clothes? Please tell this court about the man's clothes in more detail. What a troublesome man you are, really, as if something like that matters. But it does! Now what was it? Oh yeah, it was that thing. What thing? That gaudy thing he's always wearing, that racing jacket. I was wearing that at the detention center too. That thing's meant for nothing but seducing women out of their pantaloons. Men. Right. So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or relevant in any way? Yes, it was. I was. Of course it was important, Your Honor. Then perhaps you would like to point out what part of that testimony was important. Don't you see it, Edgeworth? Your Honor, I request what the witness said about the jacket be appended to her testimony. I don't quite see where you're going with this, but alright. Witness, please. Well, I don't like to badmouth anyone without reason, but if I must. He was wearing his flashy racing jacket. Honestly, it's all just for show. No, he wasn't. Miss Oldbag. What? Don't say my name for no reason. Do you know what this is? It's button number 2 on the Jammin' Ninjas costume. Now I know she's an obsessed fan. She identified it in a single glance. Give it here, give it here. If you don't give it to me, I'll punish you with this. Wow. She really is a diehard fan to want a button covered in blood. This button was discovered on Mr. Unguard's body during a full body search. See? This button proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it was that rascal Unguard. It was caught up in the pleats of his nickel samurai hakama pants. See? And Unguard is the nickel samurai. Witness. Now, it may just be me, and I do have an active imagination, but just now, didn't you say that the defendant, Matt Unguard, was wearing his usual racing jacket? I'm so sorry. Sorry that you judge people based on what they wear. If I weren't dressed but instead I had to put up with wearing this ridiculous outfit. You agree this outfit is hideous, right? I got a tape recorder stuck in my chest. Let me just tell you it's heavy. So heavy I wish we would have switched to CD's edge deal. But I give the drill on all those kids out there. I work on the style of it, so you understand. Now take a look at the mirror. Your clothes are about as interesting as a documentary on curly. You should take a true for the Now he's got style. Now hold your tongue still there for 1 second. So what you saw in actuality was not Mr. Unguard, but the man... But Mr. Ungard, the Nickel Samurai? But when you think about it, they're really one and the same anyway. Miss Oldbag, this is a very important point we're talking about. Edgy Poo, do you think so too? Well, it might be something worth considering. Just say it's important and agree with me for a change. Witness, think carefully and try to remember as much as you can before you testify. Alright, if you insist. I should be the one sighing, not you. Who I saw. Ungard. Yes, now I remember. The Nickel Samurai, that's right. It was the Nickel Samurai that I saw. Yes, it would make a video for him to wear his costume during the murder. He had to go to that post-ceremony stage show right after the... I mean, no. So he must have worn that Nickel Samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan. I knew it. I knew you'd say he was inside that costume. What? Do you think there could have been someone else inside that costume? Don't be a bad little boy thinking such rude things. But the possibility does exist. Ah, the youngins today. I told you there's no way it was anyone else. How do you know that? Because I said so, and what I say is the truth. At least she's just as delightful witness as she was a year ago. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Well, first of all, he wasn't stabbed to death. Is that not it? Okay. I thought it was. Is it the knife? Let me just make a save, just in case. I'm pretty sure it's this. Okay. I was on the right track. Please take a look at this. Yeah, so it's a knife. Big deal. If you're trying to scare me with that, I'll have you know it won't work. No, that's not my intention at all. That's the knife that was used in the murder, correct? Your Honor, do you know why this piece of evidence is important to this case? You don't even have to ask. It's because the defendant's fingerprints are on it. Is that what you're driving at? That is exactly what I'm driving at. What are we driving at, and whose car are we driving? Mr. Ungard was really stuck in the Nickel Samurai costume at the time of the murder. It's impossible for his fingerprints to have been left on this knife. Actually, would have wiped all previous fingerprints on this knife right off. Oh, that's right. The Nickel Samurai wears gloves, doesn't he? He probably took his gloves off before he began the stabbing. And why would he do something like that? To leave his prints on the murder weapon? There's no way he would do something like that. However, there is one possibility. Then let's hear your possibility. It's very simple. The defendant went to the victim's room while in costume as the Nickel Samurai. At that time, the defendant held no intent of murder. He was probably just going to relax and talk with the victim about the stage show. Which is why he took his gloves off. But the murder still did take place. It's well known that there was bad blood between the defendant and the victim. Yes, I have heard that before. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about Mr. Edgeworth's theory? So let me get this straight. Edgeworth's theory goes like this. When the defendant went to the victim's room, he had no intention of killing him? Now, up to this point, are there any problems with his theory? Yes. This theory contradicts something in an earlier testimony. What are you babbling about? Now, for argument's sake, let's suppose Mr. Ungard was the killer. If that's the case, I think it's impossible for the killer to have gone to the victim's room without intent. This knife, this was used by Mr. Ungard at dinner. Yes, we did establish that. Which means that if my client was in fact the killer, then he brought this knife with him when he went to visit Mr. Kurita, I suppose. However, you just said it yourself. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. If that were true, then why would he bring a knife? He wouldn't, would he? Which means, Mr. Edgeworth, your theory was flawed from supposition 1. And one more thing. If the murderer was wearing the costume at the time of the murder, then there should be glove marks left on the knife. Which means the defendant's fingerprints shouldn't be all over it like bees on a hive. That brings me to my final point. This knife was planted by the real killer to hide their identity and mislead us. Order, I say. Order in the court. Was this knife really planted by the killer? Why would the murderer do such a thing? It's to frame my client, Mr. Ungard, of course. To frame... aren't you forcing the interpretation just a little too hard on this one? But we just established that the witness saw the nickel samurai in costume, and if that were true, then there shouldn't be a single fingerprint on this knife. Grr. Witness! Looks like I made your life a teeny bit more difficult, huh, Edgy Boo? Grr. Witness, did you or did you not really see the nickel samurai? Well, I guess at first sight, I might have forgotten, but... Are you saying that you mixed up Mr. Ungard with the nickel samurai, his character on TV? But I mean, I can't really do anything about that now. Look, I was waiting around in front of their doors because, well, I wasn't waiting around for the nickel samurai, that's for sure. She wasn't waiting for the nickel samurai? Alright then, who were you waiting around for then? That's top secret to anyone outside of security. I have a feeling that you were waiting for Mr. Juan Kurita, am I correct, witness? The way you think, you are a sad amateur with terrible case of nearsightedness. Amateur? Me? What am I an amateur of? So Old Bag was waiting around in front of the victim's room. But it doesn't sound like she was waiting to catch a glimpse of Mr. Kurita. Maybe... Phoenix! Maybe the Old Bag was waiting around for that person. If it's who I think Mia's hinting at, it's certainly possible. Miss Old Bag, you were waiting for this person to come out of the victim's room, weren't you? That's be Adrian Andrews. Who is this person? This is Adrian Andrews, Mr. Ungard's manager. But why would the defendant's manager be in the victim's room? Seems that this is the latest rumor in circulation, Your Honor. Oh, this is... Ha, I see. The judge seems to be really into the article, if it can be called such a thing. And this manager with the initials AA, are you saying it's Adrian Andrews? Without a doubt, the witness thought so as well. Looks like you found me out. Well, that's fine. I can throw away this whole sworn to confidentiality stuff then. Witness! What in the world are you... Watch out, Phoenix. I've got a bad feeling about this. A very bad feeling. I got some information, some very secret information from a certain source. So that's why I was doing my own little investigation. In secret, of course. But what for? Oh, just for myself. Personal reasons and all that. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, how will you proceed from here? I really don't want to do this, however, I cannot simply let the point slide. I see. Very well then. Witness, please testify about this secret information. Get ready, this is going to take the wind out of you youngins. I'm sure we're all capable of handling this. Really, it's not like we're 10 years old. That Ungard is one very evil man. He thought he could ruin poor Juan by causing a huge scandal. So to do that, he sent his own manager to get in close with Juan. I cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action. Oh, and this is top secret. You got that? Nobody else but you and me know yet, okay? The defendant sent his manager? What a distasteful topic for this court. What? Nobody's above gossip. And isn't there a saying? The truth is never pleasant. Never heard of that one before. Mr. Edgeworth, what about this Adrian Andrews person? We have looked into this matter and found that the truth is the article proposed is in fact baseless gossip. But should this be true, then this proves that the defendant did bear ill will towards the victim. So this means I have to smash this rumor once and for all. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Be careful, the old bag seems rather excited right now. That's right, On Guard is nothing but your average foul-blooded youth. Well, as the old saying goes, you've got to burn the old bags with fire. Time to fire up the afterburners and hit the highway to the danger zone. Dated pop culture reference is dated. You can't say something like that without proof. That's just slander. But it's true. That woman was getting intimate with 4-1. Look, it says so right here, doesn't it? Manager to the stars, Miss AA. But the name of the magazine this comes from is Gossip Land. What? Are you saying that gossip is all just a pack of lies? What do you know? I suppose next you'll swear to me that the news is 100% truth. Honestly, Sonny, you can't discriminate between the news and gossip. Yes, discrimination is bad, Mr. Wright. Discriminate? When did I do anything like that? Anyway, Miss Ungard will never get me to say touche. A scandal? What do you mean by that? You're a dim-witted one, aren't you? I can't believe you don't know what a scandal is. Honestly, what are they teaching kids in middle school these days? No, I wasn't asking what the word scandal means. Even I know that much. Well, that Ungard thought he could own a monopoly on popularity. You don't have any proof that Mr. Ungard did such a thing. You must be suffering from the shock of hearing the truth. And now, since you're in so much shock, you can't do anything right. You're right, I can't do anything. But boy, do I wish I could do something about you. Alright then, Sonny, show me what you've got. Can you show me proof that Ungard didn't bear any ill will towards Juan? I don't have anything to offer. See, just as I thought. You were lecturing me on saying things without proof. You just give me a free pass, say whatever I want, whenever I want, silly boy. Me and my big mouth. That's the way the cookie crumbles, for you anyway. Do I have anything? So what do you mean by I took action? Like I already told you, I was lying in wait to close of the crime scene. Once that slimy woman came out of Juan's room, I was going to capture her and teach her a good lesson. Something you youngins need. You were going to teach her a good lesson? I was going to make her eat the damaging beams of my ray gun. Like this! No, stop! Well, it was too bad that woman didn't come through the door that night. Wait! What? I'm a busy woman. Tea time with the kids is over. Secret information that no one else knows yet. If that's true, then how do you know this secret information? Huh? Well, that's because I'm a pro. Yes, that's it. It's a secret. Even if you drill the hole into my brain, you'll never find out. How in the world did an Ombag get such a secret piece of information? If you don't be a good girl and tell me where you got the secret information, you won't get to go home today. Edgy Poo, what are you doing? Help me! What do I have to do with this? Just do this for me. You'll get your reward. I don't want your reward, but you don't leave me much of a choice. The witness could have gotten her information from anywhere. It's even possible that it was spontaneously made up inside the witness's head. And he lectures me on reckless blabbering. As long as we don't know where this information came from, it's quite a waste of time to focus on this line of questioning. Where did Ombag get her inside information? There has to be something I can use to figure it out. It's only just another tidbit of gossip, doesn't it? You can't just ignore it either. It makes your client look bad either way. Well, I don't think I heard anything really out of the ordinary just now. There has to be something we can catch her on. Yeah, and when I find it, I'm gonna press the heck out of it. Is that last statement? Is it Lotta's camera? Well, let's see. So no one else is supposed to know this secret information, correct? If that's true, then why do you know it, Miss Oldbag? Why are you looking at me like that? Stop that! Witness! I hate to say it, but this is how you came to acquire your secret info, isn't it? The investigative photographer Lotta Hart. Oh yes, I remember that mischievous girl. She reported that she had lost a certain note she had written to herself. She reported such a thing? On that piece of paper, she had written down some of her outrageous impressions about the relationship between the victim and Miss Andrews. What? Outrageous ideas, you say? No, I said impressions. Then everything written on this piece of paper was completely meaningless? Ah, that's it, that's the note! No, you see, this is something completely different. This is my top secret list of groceries to buy! Then you are the one who took Miss Hart's note. I'm a huge fan of wands, that's why. That infamous puffy-haired whippersnapper. She's working with that evil Unguard. She said so herself. Unguard, I'm his sidekick. She was so happy, smiling like a silly duck. I was only checking what she had written. Edgy boo, you believe me, don't you? Ugh. I was only trying to help out like the angel that I am. It's only one little piece of paper. I've never taken anything else before. You really should have come with a supply of cheese to match your vintage wine. Well, it was only a piece of paper. I suppose we could overlook this just this once. She looks like she's really sorry. Should I forgive her? If I let up on her now, she'll get away. I have to find some way to inflict a deafening blow to the prosecution. Witness! You said that the only thing you stole was that note. Is this correct? Stole? Why don't you listen more carefully, you annoying brat? I saved this piece of paper for that terrible, lonely trash can, that's all. You're lying, damn it, and I can prove it. You put my credibility under scrutiny again? Miss Oldbag, I don't believe that the only thing you stole was the note that night. Miss Oldbag, that note was with a camera inside its case, wasn't it? A camera? Yesterday, Lotta Hart was raising a huge stink over her camera. She kept saying something like, my sweet $1,600 camera disappeared on me. Why, witness! What is it, Gramps? If you have the note, then the only logical conclusion is that you have the camera, too. Gah. Looks like you found me out again, Sonny. Is this the camera you're looking for? Ah, that's... What, even though I look like this, I'm still a person, you know. I still eat meals like you, I still fall in love and borrow things from people. I think your definition of borrow is a little off. I saw that woman's business card, and that's when I noticed it said, Slimebag Celebrity Photographer Extraordinaire. Well, when I saw that, I had to know what sort of picture she had taken. I'm a professional security guard, it's my business to know these things. Bailiff! Check this camera's photos, hurry! We must examine them at once! Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do we have? There's only one photo that seems to be relevant to this case. Please present it to the court. This is the Nickel Samurai! See, I told you, that's the guy I saw! This proves that the witness was not lying earlier about this matter. What does all this mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photo by itself does not prove that the person in it is the defendant. However, in his own confession, Mr. Ungard clearly stated that at the time of the murder, he was still wearing his Nickel Samurai costume. If that is the case, then this Nickel Samurai is... the defendant. How did it come to this? I think this brings us to an end. We've examined every piece of evidence thoroughly. Final comments, Mr. Wright? The court will consider them before we close. Do you agree that this photo is decisive evidence against your client? If this photo really is decisive, then we're done for. But if I raise an objection here and blow it, then I would put Maya's life in jeopardy. I can't make a mistake here. There's only one road out of this mess. This photo that Lana took. There's... has to be something strange with it, right? There's something strange with this photo. I knew this was coming, right? Your thoughts, Mr. Edgeworth? I think we can all agree that there's nothing strange with this photo. There's no way for the defense to debunk this photo, even with a bunker buster. Debunk with a bunker buster? Is that what you're planning to do, Mr. Wright? Anyway, please look at the photo one more time. If you really believe you can honestly find something wrong with the photo, you should only need one chance, correct? Well, I have to find something wrong with this photo. I can't let this chance go by. Where in the heck did she take this photo from anyway? It's all out of focus. Why can't she take a good shot, especially when it counts? Now then, let's hear your objection. What about this photo is strange? I think it's this. I think it's the legs. I would like to direct the court's attention to this one area right here. What are you pointing to? His ankles? If you could see this person's ankles, that would be one thing. However, you can't. And what does that mean? The costume person in this photo could not have been Mr. Ungard. What is the meaning of this? I wonder if you'll care to elaborate with actual facts, that is. Let's take a look at the Nickel Samurai's poster. Please pay particular attention to the area around the bottom of the hakama. His socks, you can see his socks. Exactly. However, in this photo, the Nickel Samurai is clearly holding his just holding his hakama up to walk. There's only one explanation for this. The person inside this costume is clearly much shorter than the defendant. Alright, I think I've turned things around for myself this time. That's curious. Huh, what is? Edgeworth is unusually calm today. That's true. He's just letting the trial run itself as if he's only going along for the ride. Along for the ride? What do you mean by that? I can only guess that perhaps he doesn't feel under attack at all. He doesn't feel under attack? And I haven't damaged his case at all? Mr. Edgeworth, where does this leave us? The person in this photo is not Matt Ungard, and everything the prosecution has tried to prove has become meaningless. I figured it would come to this. What? Right, I have something I want to ask you. I think you have proven that this person inside the costume is not Matt Ungard. In that case, who is this a photo of? Who is the person wearing the Nickel Samurai costume? Don't stress out over this, Phoenix. It's very simple. We should be focused on his Edgeworth's attitude, don't you think? Yeah, why is he so calm? Mr. Wright, let's hear your thoughts. Who's the person in this photograph? Adrian Andrews. Adrian Andrews? You want to know who that Nickel Samurai is? It is none other than this woman. And why would you say it must be Miss Andrews? What in the world points you to her? For starters, she's short. And she could freely move in and out of Mr. Ungard's room. Finally, she had dinner with Mr. Ungard that night. And how does all that add up? It means that it makes it very easy for her to get a certain item. A certain knife with Mr. Ungard's fingerprints all over it. A knife that was used as a murder weapon. Why don't you just say what it is you want, right? I have to do this now. This is my last chance to turn things around. The defense moves to indict Miss Adrian Andrews in the murder of Juan Carita. It was Miss Andrews who tried to frame the defendant for the crime. Order, order, order! It looks like this trial has hit a most unexpected development. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. This court is issuing a subpoena for Miss Adrian Andrews. A verdict cannot be passed without first hearing her testimony. Alright, this is it. This is kinda bad for us. Huh? What do you mean? If Adrian Andrews is summoned to court as a witness, it means that the trial will go on for another day. One more day. Yeah! If I don't get a verdict today, then Maya... Now then, we shall set Miss Andrews' testimony for tomorrow. What am I supposed to do? The judge is about to adjourn the court. Now then. Please, Your Honor, continue the trial. You must pass a verdict today. I can't do that. We cannot hear Miss Andrews' testimony if she is not. I abhor wasting such valuable time. Edgeworth? Your Honor, I request that you please continue with today's trial. But we cannot continue due to this unexpected development. Unexpected development? I think you underestimate me, Your Honor. And what do you mean by that? That Mr. Phoenix Wright would slave his way to subpoenaing Miss Andrews is all. Happening according to plan, even if Wright was a bit slow to catch on. What? What? What is the meaning of your statement, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Andrews is currently waiting in the prosecution's lobby. She is the next witness. Everything was planned out in advance by that man. Somehow I knew there was no way Edgeworth would overlook Miss Andrews. Looks like this battle is far from over. Exactly. Very well. We will call the next witness. However, before we proceed, we shall take a 10-minute recess. Please prepare your witness in that time, Mr. Edgeworth. The court will now take a 10-minute recess.